why do we wait until Tuesday night to process an absentee ballot? Our clerks can process just as well on a Monday as a Tuesday. Our observers can observe better in daylight during regular hours than in the middle of the night on a Tuesday. When we go to bed on election night, we should have a solid, unofficial result of the election that took place. That's what we should have had in 2018. That's what we should have had in 2020. That is what people outside of this building's expectations are of us. And we have to find a way to get there. And 38 other states already are there. In 38 other states, they process ballots before the Tuesday election. And after Governor Evers signs this bill, which I think he will, we will still be one of the most restrictive states in the country regarding processing ballots, processing absentee ballots, I should say. So I just want to go over some basics just to make sure everybody kind of understands what is in this bill. First off, this is only applying to municipalities that have an ordinance of central count. So if you don't have a central count ordinance in your municipality, you do not have to do a Monday process. But if you do have that, like Milwaukee, for example, then it is mandatory. You do have to. Now, at 7 a.m. in the morning of Monday, the Monday right before the election, you can start processing these ballots. Not at 6:30. You got to wait until 7 a.m. You could process these ballots all the way until 8 p.m. on Monday. And then you have to stop. You don't get to keep going. At 8 o'clock, you have to report to the clerk, and it's going to be published, how many ballots did you receive, so how many are in your possession, and how many ballots have you actually processed on Monday. If you still have ballots to process, you don't get it all done by 8 o'clock, you have to wait until Tuesday to continue processing. If you still have ballots at 10 o'clock on election night that you're processing, now every hour you have to inform the clerk and publish basically what not necessarily what the holdup is, but that you're still processing and kind of where you are on your count. You're almost done, you're not almost done, you're 60%, whatever. So we're really trying our best to try to get these results to be done accurately and safely prior to the end of the day on Tuesday. And I think that's obviously what we're all hopefully going to vote for. So other things that are in this is we're going to remove, so the Elections Commission has a list, and that list has is alleged, I've heard there's a lawsuit out there right now by Wisconsin Voters Alliance. It says that there's 15 to 20,000 legally incompetent names on this list. So people that have been adjudicated legally incompetent by a judge, and they're still on this list, they still could potentially vote if any other safeguards fail. Now, when we say legally incompetent means very incompetent. This isn't your lack of algebra skills. This is a situation where you really don't know what's going on. If you know what's going on, you're considered legally competent. A judge will not find you legally incompetent. And also, so this bill doesn't change the fact that those people can't vote. It will clear up that list, and in the future, it has 2 additional safeguards to make sure that list stays clean. So in the one business day after a person's found legally incompetent, that court has to communicate with WEC and tell WEC that this person's been found legally incompetent. Then WEC has just 1 day to remove that name from the list. So this should be something that's solved and doesn't come back. Now let's say you're found legally competent again. So if you were in a coma or something like that, if you were in a coma, you would be found, when you came out of the coma, if you've got your, mind back, then you might be found legally competent again. Same process. The court has 1 day to inform WEC, and WEC has 1 day to remove or to add you back to their list. Now, this bill has been 6 years in the workings for me. It's been a lot of work. The representative from the 22nd worked together with me with similar bills in the past in 2018 on this. We've had work on multiple bills, and I would love to see this get signed by Governor Evers, and I think it will. But the support we've had throughout the whole process has really been excellent. The clerks have always been ready to encourage us to do this. They'd like more time than just Monday, but they're happy to have more time than the current situation. So they're certainly in favor. Ron Johnson was one of the first people to say this is something that we really need to get figured out before the 2020 election. He predicted the 2020 election becoming a problem. He thought we should do something about it. I tried, but it didn't happen. And some of the concerns we've had since the 2020 election is as a result. Eric Cardell. So Eric Cardell is somebody that has testified multiple times on campaigns and election stuff. He's an elections attorney. He's been involved in this process for at least 4 years and is very excited to see this happen. He is one of the most competent people I've heard on elections from an attorney's perspective throughout the 6 years on campaigns and elections that I've been working on these issues. We've got Wisconsin Voters Alliance that's in favor of it. We've got this bill passed, we already heard this, campaigns and elections unanimously. The Wisconsin Institute for Law and Liberty, their Will Flanders wrote a very nice article in favor of it. Representative from the 57th did a great job working with Wisconsin Diversity Rights to get their help on this to make sure that that worked out regarding the legal incompetency and then the return back from legal incompetency if that occurs. But the very first person to jump in this year anyway on this bill was Mayor Cavalier Johnson. He wants to see this happen in Milwaukee. So this bill has always been common sense. I wish it would have happened 6 years ago when this wasn't something you were voting on today. But we're finally here today. I appreciate everybody's thoughts on this. And we've tried to build something that works for everybody. And really hope your vote's green.